So what would
So
you say, like, if you had to describe in a couple words how you felt in the space before we did the process, and then how you felt after, what would that be like?
um, it was just like, how do I explain it? I felt like I was in knots.
Mm.
Okay. I felt like I was a ball of knots. And then after, like, there's some, like when the kids, I did the week on, week off in the summer, right? So after we went through all of this, the weeks that I was by myself, I would actually sit in my house and feel calm. So like, it's like we undid all these knots.
Welcome to Reframe and Reclaim. We are Courtney Huckabee, a psychotherapist,
and Jen Harris, an interior designer
who have teamed up to reflect,
challenge,
and reframe your mindset in relationship with your personal belongings.
Join us as we discuss and declutter all of the stuff that keeps us stuck.
Learn to intentionally create environments with improved function and design that cultivate peace of mind. Find the reframe.
Start your reclaim.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Reframe and Reclaim. I'm Jen Harris.
And I'm Courtney Huckabee.
And today we have the pleasure of speaking with one of our clients who we were able to go into her home and help her reframe and reclaim her space. So I'd love to give a warm welcome to Olinda. Olinda, welcome to the
Hello,
podcast.
how are y'all?
Very good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
So I know whenever we finished your space, we worked on a couple closets. We also went in and did your garage. It completely transformed the space and the function. But before we worked together, what brought you to a point where you felt like this is the time where I need to have someone come in, I need to hire someone? You know, what inspired you to really reclaim your space?
I think, well, just because it was my first house that I owned on my own. I think all of that stuff being everywhere, and it was causing chaos in my life, and I didn't realize it. Like, it was triggering, and it was triggering not only to me, but I could feel it with my kids, because ever since we've done this, like the mood of the atmosphere of my house is just, it's like everybody just took a big old breath and let it out, you know? So it's made a huge difference. And, it's supposed to be a home. It's supposed to be a safe space, right? So I think that's what was missing, is getting all the clutter and everything in its place, right? So that really, I think that was like, okay, I got to do it now. If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? I kept putting it off. And I think a lot of it was just because it was triggering to me, because it was boxes of memories and stuff that I bought because I was stressed out. So yeah, but that's where I hit my breaking point, where I was like, we need to feel comfortable here.
So you felt some stress, and you noticed it was affecting and impacting you and your children. Maybe there were some roadblocks along the way. What were some of those roadblocks before you started the reframe and reclaim process that kept you from getting, I know you said it felt like it was overwhelming, but what were some of those things?
I guess I was probably just in denial about dealing with it, like just mentally, and then, it's life. I'm a single mom. So I was like, okay, we're going to do it this weekend. And then this weekend would come and something would pop up. And then my son's in band, so that took up a lot of our time. And then, you've got end of year stuff, graduations, all this stuff. So it just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And I was like, okay, it's summer. I have absolutely no excuse other than it's summer to do it. And so I think, and a friend of mine also said, I think you just need to put everything in its place, and your life will start getting into place. And it did. I mean, it changed a lot just in our very first session, that one day that you were there, Jen. It was like, just the half day, that very first day. I remember when you came, I was really nervous. I was like, she's gonna judge me, but she doesn't judge at all. That was like, once I hit that, once we got to there and we did that, I was like, okay, it's got to be done. So I'm so happy that I'm at where I'm at right now.
Oh, and I will say, for those of you listening, so how it kind of started in the beginning is I was working in the home and kind of categorizing things. So Olinda had a lot of clothes, and as she said kind of earlier, that was her kind of coping mechanism when she was stressed. And so there was a large amount of clothing, and what we needed to do, because it was from a move, things had kind of just been in boxes and put in various places. So we really needed to categorize what she had. So put all her jeans together, all her shorts together, all of her shirts. And then, so I did that. And then in the evenings, she would go through and, kind of edit and evaluate and see what could go and what could stay. And so we did that for a couple sessions, and then we were able to meet together. And then it just snowed, like it went so fast and snowballed.
Yes.
We were able to go through so many items. I mean, and hats off to her. I mean, we went through thousands of items, and you got rid of, I mean, carloads of clothes. So
yes.
And you were able to donate those to people that needed them. You were donate to charities. So how did that feel, being able to give those items you weren't using to someone else?
That was the really, like, I guess what they call, because this was it, doing this, just going and doing it was stressful for me too. I know you know that I was triggered by a lot of things. So I think I read this quote the other day that you look for like the glimmers in life instead of looking for, so I was like really sad to part with some of these things, because I was like, man, I have so many, I don't need to buy them, but they either didn't fit or whatever. But being able to give it to someone who could use it, and I could see that right away. Like, I gave some clothes to a friend of mine who just got a job, and so she's wearing them to work, and I'm like, okay, that's the glimmer of it all. I'm not sad that I got rid of all this stuff. I'm happy because I'm helping somebody, so
And
it just was a feel good moment. And it inspired my kids too, because they started going through their things and was like, well, this doesn't fit anymore and I can't use this. I mean, it was like a snowball effect, but in a good way. So
good to hear. And I love that, as a counselor, we talk about, children really learn from their parents first. And, we can say one thing, but they really pay attention to what we do. And probably seeing you and how, you were a little probably apprehensive or hesitant at first, but how it started to feel in your home, and they saw the benefit of other people being able to use things, being able to have more breathing space in your home. I'm so glad that your kids got involved too.
Yes. And it's definitely changed like the vibe in our house. You can tell, like, my son also, like, he was always in his room and always shut off. And now that things have been put in a place and it's more open in our main living area, like, he comes out and hangs out, like he wants to be around. I think he just feels comfortable because now it feels like a space to chill in. That's what he tells me. So,
and that was one thing fun whenever we did Olinda's garage. So she really needed different sections in her garage. One would be for like working out. One is a space for her son to hang out and, watch TV if he wants to. A space for her daughter to come out and hang out while Linda's working out, and then also some storage as well. And so whenever we were in the process, he came out and we were like, oh, what do you think of the TV here? And getting his opinion. And he enjoyed that process feedback too. Yeah.
He did. Yeah. And we're slowly getting that space set up. We're trying to decide if the TV that I have is going to work. And then I've been looking around for, an air conditioner to put, since it is the garage and it's hot. We both know that. But I'm trying to get something to put in there that will have somewhere to hang out, just not just in the house. Because I went from living in a 6-bedroom house that had 2 living areas to a 4-bedroom house that, I mean, it's still a big house, but it's a change, and with, the kids being, split time with me and my ex-husband, I wanted it to kind of look and feel the same way the other house did, right? Except with no stress. So, but yeah, and he comes and he helps out a lot more, like take the trash out for me now. Before I don't know if I think just clearing the space changed a lot of things.
So what would you say, like, if you had to describe in a couple words how you felt in the space before we did the process, and then how you felt after, what would that be like?
It was just like, how do I explain it? I felt like I was in knots. Okay. I felt like I was a ball of knots. And then after, like, there's some, like when the kids I did the week on, week off in the summer, right? So after we went through all of this, the weeks that I was by myself, I would actually sit in my house and feel calm. So like it's like we undid all these knots. So now I feel good. And it's sorry, it's true though. And it's like I feel like that it's changed everything. Like I don't know if it's the timing or what, but everything has changed. So thank you so much.
And I will say when I was in the home, like it's really interesting because you talked about the knots, you talked about how you just felt overwhelmed, and you could see that almost physically in your demeanor when you were in the home, right? Like
yes, I just felt like I knew what needed to be done. I just didn't know where to start. Because I would start and then it was like, and I'm organized. It's just the way that things happened. It was like, it was a snowball, right? It hit me. I had to just deal with it. I needed to be in a house. I needed to be moved. I had 60 days to get out of my old house. So it was like, everything just came fast. So I didn't know where to start. And I was always like, I felt like I had ADD, which I don't, at least I don't think I do. But like that was, you could tell it wore on me. And I was jumpy and I would like just my attitude towards things. And it's changed so much. Like you don't even realize it. So.
Well, we've done so much research and, psychology tells us that women are very much impacted by our environment, visual clutter. And I know that, you're going from a 6-bedroom house to a 4-bedroom house, and then what to do with all this stuff that I accumulate when I'm stressed. And space stresses me more, so I accumulate more.
Yeah,
right.
It's true. It is very true.
Right, and it's very easy for anybody to find themselves in a place you say feeling like ADD. There's so many things to pay attention to. Where do I put my focus? Because it doesn't seem like there is a place to focus.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. It was hard to focus. Like I work from home. So even in my office, like I was just like, I knew I needed to be working, but I was like, well, if I go do this or if I go do that. And I was like, so this helped because I know she only got to spend a little bit of time with me, but like her influence stayed with me because now it's like, I make sure everything has a place. Like it just feels so much more calm. You have to come see how much more progress I've made even after. So my books are unboxed and shelved.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, my living room is completely clear now. I've dealt with all the boxes. You can actually live in the living room.
Awesome. Because I was just going to say, because real quick for listeners, so we weren't able to tackle everything, but we definitely got the jump start and got the ball rolling. And it sounds like you were able to really take the things that we had kind of worked through and then keep that momentum going into the other spaces. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, even like, how you said that we got Eddie involved. Like even Eddie's like, when is the last time you used that? Like, are you really going to like, okay, thanks.
And then you had said your daughter came in. She's like, I have things to donate.
Yeah, she did. And now she has a donate box. Like anything that she tries on that doesn't fit her, like that she's like attached to, like her dress up costumes. Like I knew that she was growing out of those. And I was like, I'm just going to let her come to terms with it. You pick your battles, right?
Yes.
And, and now, like the other day, she's like, this one just doesn't fit anymore. I can't like move my arms. And I was like, great. She was like, so she wouldn't put in the donate box.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And you said, Jennifer's influence stayed with you. Tell us about the influence you got from that reframe process with Jen.
It just, it gave me like a more, like, I guess when I was, buying all this stuff to deal with the stress, like I wasn't really thinking about, do I really need like 7 of that same pair of jeans, right? So now, like, I even catch myself, I'm out shopping and I'm like, do I really, really need that? Like, I'm not gonna like, where am I gonna wear it to? It doesn't really go with what I have. So it's like, it stayed with me. So like, I guess it's the little voice inside my head that says, you don't really need that. So yeah.
Oh, I want
and I have a donate box too behind my door, and anything that I'm just like, I tried it on, it didn't feel good, we're putting it in there. I'm not even going to think twice and hang on to it. So,
so the habits of purchasing have shifted and framed, and then the habits of what you have in your home and when to donate, when to let go has also shifted.
Yeah.
It's like a double whammy.
It is. It totally is. It feels so good. Like it just feels, you know how they say a place for everything and everything in its place, that it feels good to have that in my home again, you know, like going from, I hated going in my garage. My garage is where I work out and I love to work out. So it was just like I was like, I don't want to go in there because I couldn't walk in there. You couldn't see anything. And now everything, I mean, there's still stuff that needs to be put away and dealt with, but like, you can clearly see where everything is, you know, like there's a section for this. There's a, like, now you like, I found something that it was a Christmas book and I was like, oh, I'm going to go put it in my Christmas bin in the garage.
And
so
you
it's like
where it was and you could access it. And then we also have a section in the garage for all the items to sell, because Olinda did have a lot of high-end clothing that does have some monetary value. So she's in the process of working through selling those items as well.
Yeah, slowly I've been doing, I mean, you know, with all my free time,
right?
I've been selling bits and pieces here and then, or just like coming to terms with it and going like, you know, my friends, like, I have a friend who was struggling. She's like, I don't have like the funds right now to buy stuff. And I was like, you're welcome to come shop in my garage, like see what you find. So yeah, it's been good. It's definitely changed. Like I feel a difference in my attitude and in how I feel. And I can see it like even trickling into like work and stuff like that, because I have a better attitude. I feel better in my home. I feel more at ease. You know, so it's been a great thing. So thank you again. I can't say thank you enough. And we had fun doing it too.
And I know Jen was able to help you for like starting things, and you had some homework to finish things, teaching you strategies and organizing. For those who may not be ready, like where you were before the summer, and are hesitant or feeling overwhelmed, like what advice do you have for people who are considering the reframe and reclaim process?
I think the biggest thing is, my biggest worry is like, she's going to come in here and totally judge me. I think that's what goes through a lot of people's heads when they get to a point where I was at, you know, you're like, you really do need help, but you don't want to admit it. And, you know, you're like, no, I can tackle this. Like, I got this, you know? And I mean, I'm organized. I mean, I'm an accountant by trade. So I'm organized with all that stuff. It's just, it got overwhelming to me. So I think the first thing is just getting out of that mindset. Like, nobody's going to judge you. You know, it happens. It's life. It happens. Right. So I think that was the biggest thing. And then not to think of it as like a chore, to think of it like it can be fun. Like there was things that I found that I didn't even know I had, you know? So yeah, so it was like, you have to just be in the right mindset and then just let go, you know, like let yourself go and just accept the help, accept that you need it, you need the help, and go. Whereas it don't think, just do. You know,
just do it.
Go with your gut. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that worked out really well is, you know, like I said in the beginning, I was going through and categorizing, and then Olinda would go back and go through, but she would know, you know, she had enough self-awareness where it was like, this item's triggering, or I know this box is harder, so I'm going to go through this with Jen because it goes faster.
Yeah. That was really helpful because there was a lot of boxes that were triggering. I mean, I think I shed some tears that weekend. It's an emotional journey, right? But in the end, it's like, I don't want to say like expunge the demons or something, because I felt like that. I felt like, oh, you know, I can just like this imaginary weight that was holding me down just went away, you know? So it was a good experience. I knew I needed it. I just needed to find the time. Like I did take some days off from work, and it was worth the vacation days because of the results, you know? So I'm happy that we did it.
And would you say the process is like what you expected it to be, or?
Yeah, I mean, I love that I love the categorizing of stuff, because it put, you know, I saw, oh my gosh, I have like over 100 pairs of shorts. Like, am I really going to wear all these? And they were, not only that, they were sizes that probably I won't fit back into, you know, they're either too big or too small. And I was just like holding on to them for I don't know, it was it was my security blanket, I guess. um, so I liked that because I'm a category person and I do that with my kids, right? I mean, we all do it, right? We do laundry, you've got to categorize stuff there, right? So that was great. I didn't expect that. So I was happy when she did that. I didn't know how we were going to attack it. It was just a lot. So I was thankful for the categories.
What's your favorite space to go into now?
I really like my living room. Okay. Like now I like being in there and the hall, that little tiny walk space behind my couches where all those boxes were, they're gone. And like just walking into my living room in the morning when I wake up and it's like I have a ton of books, like, and I do read them like that. I'm like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. So I feel like I have my own little library at my house. Um, and that was what I wanted. I wanted all of my books to be everywhere around me, like, and that's what they are. We found places for shelves and made it creative, and it's comfortable.
Well, I think too, your living room is one of the first rooms you see when you walk in your home. So if you
Yeah.
your first impressions is boxes and overwhelm, you're
Yes.
obviously going to feel stressed, right? And so
Yeah.
being able to clear that visual clutter. Oh,
Yeah, and it's like I would look for reasons to like leave my house because it was stressful. And I was like, I shouldn't, I bought this house. I should be staying in it and living in it. So yeah, it's made a huge difference.
Awesome.
Well, I'm just so glad. Again, we really want people to feel exactly how you're feeling, and it's so wonderful to hear that it's just not your space that feels better. You personally feel better. It's kind of spreading into your workspace and your attitude at work. That's so wonderful to hear that this, it sounds like an overwhelming step, but just putting things in their place, and it doesn't have to be rigid. It doesn't have to be things can't move, or it just, where does that live and does it have a place to live and does it have a function for me? I heard that a lot in what you were saying.
Yes.
Like I may not fit into that again, or my kid may grow out of that dress up, or why am I holding on to that? I'm not going to wear that or use that. And so, and the people you've been able to help, I mean, I heard Jennifer say you've donated carloads of things.
I mean, we literally did. It was my car, my truck. I have two vehicles, my car, my truck, and then your car, your mom's car at one point in time. Like they were full. So it was great. It was really great. I think that's like, eventually that's how I'm going to look at things from now on. Like, even with the stuff that I have to sell, like if it gets to a point where I'm overwhelmed by it, I'm just going to donate it. Like, it is what it is. It's like time value of time, right? The value of time that either I spend doing that, or I could spend being with my kids, or being with my boyfriend, or being with my girlfriends, or just sitting in my living room reading, So yeah, I mean, and I do look at things differently now. Like, even when we go out shopping, like I took my kids' school clothes shopping, my son was like, you usually always go like sneak a peek at your department. I was like, I'm good. I don't need anything right now. He was like, who are you? I was like, well, I can if you really need me to. And he was like, no, you're good.
And that was one thing that was really fun, actually, going through your closet, is because like, for Olinda, she had so many cute things and so many she loves bright colors, bright and cute things. And so it really was like, only keep what you love, because there's so much good stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was the hardest thing, but then just putting it, like, talking with you through, like, let's be realistic, like, are you going to use this? If you're going to use it, when are you going to use it? Like, especially with my black tops. She was like, you have a million of them. You don't need them. I was like, I'm not goth, I promise. You wear other colors. So yeah, no, it was definitely really helpful. And just talking to somebody through the process, right? Because when you're doing it alone, I mean, I did some of it alone, but like, the main getting started, like I said, getting in that mindset of thinking like that. You think you can think like that, but when it comes to your stuff and you have no one to talk through it with, it's like you start trying to justify it to yourself, like, oh, I need this, I'll keep this. And then you make yourself believe that, and it ends up staying, you get nowhere, So just having Jen, and it was like, it wasn't like, shouldn't come in here and like crack the whip and tell me, no, everything goes, we literally had conversations about, okay, let's reason with each other, and she was like, okay, tell me why you should keep this, like it wasn't like, yeah. So it's really helpful. Just even if I know not very many people think they can afford it, but even if you do like a small session, like that, just to get that mindset is the biggest thing that people don't realize.
Yes.
So.
And I hear you. You've gotten so many things in your home to donate, to discard. Is there anything that you have regretted letting go of in this process?
No,
not a thing.
Not a thing, really. I mean, if I didn't probably even know that I had it, to be honest,
Well,
So, I mean, and if I needed it, I mean, I can always go out and buy it. It's like, if when and if I do need it, but it's taking up space and it does cause chaos. It makes, if you're struggling, like just having my closets in order, I'm able to walk in my closets and actually look at clothes, not go through piles of clothes and boxes, that just starts your morning off on a different foot, so I'm thankful for that too.
And I think it's really hard. And I know I've been there before in my own life where it's really hard to imagine what the space is going to be when it's filled with stuff, right?
Yes.
And so it's like, well, it just is because it is, and you don't realize the cost it is costing you, physically, emotionally, financially,
yes,
to keep that item. And so being able to take some of that out and really have the blank space,
yes,
to reimagine it is so inspiring and helpful.
It is. It totally is. So yeah, I know, like I said, it's definitely changed a lot of things in my house. So I'm thankful for it.
And one of the things I wanted to see too, I know you talked about like even when you're shopping, you ask yourself these questions. What other systems or have you put in place? Are there any other questions you ask yourself to make sure that your home is maintained and staying this way and feels the same way?
I mean, that's basically the things like, do I really need this, or am I just buying it because I'm having a tough day or, just to buy it, right? Because it's a habit. I mean, it's not only it was a coping mechanism, but it became a daily habit, right? Because apparently I was stressed all the time. I didn't eat my feelings. I shopped my feelings. So,
yes.
So yeah, that was just that. I think just keeping that, just do I really need this, or where am I going to wear this to? Or, even I didn't only buy clothes. Like if I bought books or stuff like that, I would always be like, am I really going to sit down and read this? And that's another thing. Like I've gone through some of the books that I've had in my shelf, like, and I'm like, I'm not going to read this. Like, let's just get rid of it, So.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Well, I'm so glad not only has this changed your space, but it's changed the way you feel. It's changed your children and how comfortable they are in your home. And so I love, you really have lived out reframe and reclaim not only your space, but your mindset. And I'm so happy that this is something you've taken on. And I hope that this continues in your home, with your children, and in your workspace.
Yes, it will. I'm definitely, I mean, just the feeling alone, like, that's priceless,
And I could see the physical difference in you from like our first meeting compared to the last. And again, that visual, that weight and the physical way you reflect your inner emotions, just was so much lighter and just, yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you.
I got chills. Sorry.
I know. No, me too. This whole time, like, oh, because it's
the
whole reason we love to do this, because you don't know that feeling till you experience it, and then it just goes into all these other parts of your life that you didn't even think it would affect, and
exactly,
you don't know how much the physical stuff can hinder you sometimes.
Well, and you get stuck with the stuff, you get stuck in this mindset, you get stuck in this emotion, and it's really hard to find which way to go, and we kind of get comfortable in that sometimes. Like,
you do
I know. And so this new experience that you have and knowing something different, knowing this different feeling or this different strategy or these different systems or habits, I really hope that this continues in your life and all of the people you get in touch with. So
definitely, definitely. I can be your poster child.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, thanks again for taking the time to talk with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for being flexible.
Yeah, I can't wait to see, you know, the other spaces that you've transformed, and you'll have to send.
I will send you pictures. I really do love my bookshelves. Like they just, I knew I had that vision. Like when I moved in, when I bought that house, I was like, that wall, it would be perfect, just filled with books, with shelves and books. And it finally looks like the vision that I had almost a year ago, because on the 30th, I will have owned my house for a year. So
it takes time, but I'm so glad. I'm so happy for your new home and your new space that you and your family get to enjoy. And yes, please send us pictures. We'd love to see what you've created.
Absolutely, I will.
And if you have felt inspired from this podcast, if you want to have those same feelings that Olinda's had, be sure to check out our book, Reframe and Reclaim. It's an audiobook if you don't have time to sit down and read it. We have it in an ebook format or the paperback copy. We also have a podcast, which you're listening to here. Be sure to share it with others that you think might be inspired by this episode. And yeah, we'd love to see your spaces that you're able to reframe and reclaim through the process. So.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.